Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 29th, 2024, and I'm going to tell you about the 6 deals that Barcelona and Girona could negotiate during this summer. Also, Robert Lewandowski has given a very interesting interview where he has discussed a myriad of topics, including his hopes for winning La Liga. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I would like to wish all of you a happy Leap Day since it is February 29th. And speaking of Leap Day, Kitbag are currently having a promotional offer all across their website. So if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Kitbag. And of course, as always, if you are looking to place any sports bets, not only on Barcelona matches, but all sporting events around the world, make sure you hit the Bet Us. Both links for Kitbag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, having said all of that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Now, I'll begin with the news by discussing the 6 deals that Barcelona could negotiate during this summer transfer market. Now, in number 1, we do have Aleix Garcia, the Girona midfielder, who Barcelona have been eyeing for quite some time. In fact, it's reported that Barcelona tried to sign Aleix Garcia during the winter transfer market, but the player refused to, because even though it is his dream to play in Barcelona, and he has said that in the past, he did not want to leave Girona hanging halfway through the season. And it's reported that Deco and Barcelona have made a final decision that they will sign Aleix Garcia in the summer transfer market. Now, Garcia does have a 20 million euro release clause, or at least that's what they are reporting, and where Barcelona believe that the release clause is actually lower than that, and it could be as low as 40 million euros. Of course, that's something that we have seen in the past, where Oriol Romeo's release clause was reportedly much higher than what it actually ended up being. I think they were initially reporting that it was 8 or 9 million euros, and it turned out to be around 3 million euros. And speaking of Oriol Romeo, he is the second operation that Barcelona and Girona could end up discussing in the summer transfer market. Of course, Oriol Romeo has not worked out for Barcelona, and as such, Barcelona could consider offloading him to Girona, because Girona have expressed their interest in having Oriol Romeo back. In fact, it's reported that both Barcelona and Girona attempted to complete this operation during the winter transfer market, but due to administrative reasons, both clubs decided not to, because they were not sure whether Girona would be able to register Oriol Romeo, because after all, there's an ambiguous rule in La Liga that says if a player starts out at one club at the beginning of the season, then moves to another club, then he can go back to his original club, which would be the case with Oriol Romeo, where he was with Girona at the beginning of the season, moved to Barcelona, then he would move back to Girona again, and he would not be allowed to be registered. So as such, Barcelona and Girona decided not to move forward with the operation. However, that could be a possibility in the summer, as Barcelona currently are not counting on Oriol Romeo, and Girona, on the other hand, would love to have their center midfielder back. Now, in number 3 is the operation of Eric Garcia, who's currently on loan with Girona. He's having a pretty good time there with the other Catalan team. He has become a permanent fixture of Mitchell's team, and it's reported that Eric Garcia would actually like to stay in Girona, because not only is he important with Mitchell, he realizes that if he goes back to Barcelona, it's most likely he won't be getting much playing time, given that there's so much competition in the center back position, with Barcelona having a surplus of center backs. Now, as such, it's most likely that Barcelona and Girona will sit down in the summer to discuss a permanent transfer of Eric Garcia, or at least extending his loan by one more season, given that the player does not have an option or an obligation to buy in his contract. Now, it's reported that Barcelona could offload Eric Garcia for around 14 to 15 million euros, or they could end up including him in that transfer of Aleix Garcia, or they could be a swap deal with one player going one way and the other player going the other. Now, the 4th name that Barcelona and Girona could discuss in a summer transfer market is that of Pablo Torre, who, just like Eric Garcia, is also on a 1-season loan with Girona with no option or obligation to buy. And Pablo Torre so far has had an inconsistent performance in Girona, where he started out not getting much playing time, then he started to get more playing time, now he's getting even less. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, because on one hand, Girona have reported that they would like to count on the services of Pablo Torre. On the other hand, Barcelona are not too sure whether the player could be of use to Barcelona, because he did have a lot of hype around him, but he has not lived up to the expectations. So we're going to have to see what the final decision will be on Pablo Torre, whether Girona are going to want to buy him on a permanent transfer, whether they're going to want to extend his loan, or whether Barcelona are going to want him back. That's something that's still to be determined. Now, the fifth name is that of Pau Victor, who's currently on loan from Girona with Barca Athletic. Pau Victor is having a great time with Barca Athletic, having scored 14 goals so far. In fact, he has scored 36% of all of Barca Athletic's goals, despite missing 3 matches during the season. And his performance has been so good that Barcelona have decided to activate the option to buy in Pau Victor's contract, which is worth 3 million euros, where Barcelona are going to look to sign Pau Victor in the summer, either to keep him in Barcelona or maybe to sell him to another club for some profit. Now, the sixth and final name that Barcelona could enter negotiations with Girona is that of Mika Faye, the 19-year-old Senegalese center back who is expected to become one of the best center backs in Europe, and who Barcelona just recently signed this past summer, and who many clubs are currently after him, including Chelsea, Arsenal, and Borussia Dortmund. And of course, there is Girona, who are heavily counting on Mika Faye for their project. Now, unlike these other players that we previously discussed, Barcelona have no intention of parting ways with Mika Faye. They are completely aware of his potential, and as such, they're looking to keep him. In fact, they are considering giving him a new contract with a higher release clause in order to protect the player so he can stay in Barcelona. But another way that Barcelona and Girona could enter negotiation for Mika Faye is through a loan, because even though Girona would love to sign Mika Faye on a permanent basis, it's reported that they're also okay with the loan. So this is a route that Barcelona could explore, where they could send Mika Faye to Girona on a one-season loan so he can continue growing and developing, and then counting on his services a season later, because again, Barcelona are very adamant on keeping Mika Faye because they absolutely understand his full potential, despite Barcelona being able to make a lot of money off his sale because they didn't pay much when they signed him. So this is a huge opportunity for Barcelona to make money, but despite the club's financial situation, they're not willing to sell him because again, they understand the potential the 19-year-old center back has. Now on to the news that Robert Lewandowski has given a detailed interview to Barcelona's official club media, where he has discussed a myriad of topics, starting with his time at Barcelona. Now, Lewandowski said, "I have been at Barca for a year and a half, and I feel good. I have won things, and I have scored a lot of goals. Right now, me included, we have to score more goals and win more matches. We are at a point where we could not just win, but also play better. Now, we have important games coming up, and let's hope the wins keep coming." So Lewandowski recalling his time at Barcelona in the year and a half that he's been at the club, where he has won, of course, 2 trophies so far, La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup. He has also scored 51 goals and provided 14 assists. But despite all that, Lewandowski believes that he could be doing more, that he could be scoring more goals, and he believes that the team is at a time where they can be doing better. Now, Lewandowski also talked about his recent improved form, and in regards to that, the Polish striker said, "I always want to play my best football. The other day, I didn't score against Getafe, but I played really well, but without scoring. For me as a striker, it's important to have performance with goals and a win. Even though in the end, how we do is down to the team and if we win. The other day, we took 3 points and we played well, but as a striker, I always want to score and help the team win." So Lewandowski there showing his hunger as a striker to always score goals and help the team win, but at the same time, of course, understanding that winning is also a collective effort by the whole team. Now, Lewandowski was asked about the upcoming matches for Barcelona. Of course, Barcelona are in a critical stage of the season where they have a lot of important upcoming fixtures, and in regard to that, Lewandowski said, "There are important games coming up, first in Bilbao and then at home at Mallorca, and later the Champions League. We are at a point where winning can be really important for us as a team to gain confidence and move forward. We are at a good point. We have the whole week to work in training and prepare for the upcoming games. I think some important players are going to come back from injury, so we can have important, experienced players on the bench, not just youngsters. It's important for the team, and I am sure that if we train well and we are going to play better than previously. For everyone, it is important to win by 2, 3, or 4 goals like we did against Getafe. So Lewandowski expressing how important the upcoming fixtures are and how important it's going to be to win them, not only to continue gaining ground, but also for the confidence of the team so they can continue winning and building upon that. And one thing I did not like about Lewandowski's statements is that he said that there's going to be some important players coming back, important players with experience, so we can have more experienced players on the field. He's of course said that in the past. Other experienced players have said that in the past as well. And what I don't like about this statement is that when you look at Barcelona's trajectory during this season, it's actually been the youngsters who have been doing really well, doing much better than the experienced players. So I don't understand why all these older players are currently criticizing how much youth Barcelona has, when it's actually the youngsters who have been carrying this team. But nonetheless, Lewandowski also expressed his optimism in regards to Champions League and La Liga. In regards to the Champions League, he said, "We played really well against Napoli in the first 30 minutes. We did really well. We needed that second goal, but now we have this home leg. If we play from the start like we did in Naples, then I think we can win and score more goals. What we want is to be in the next round. Napoli are a dangerous team with good players, but we want to win the game, and even though there is still time before the match, we want to win the ones up until then also." In regards to the Liga, Lewandowski said it depends on who we are playing against. No, against who. If not, how we play. We have a lot of players with great potential and a lot of quality. We have to know how we can play, not only to win, but also to have chances. Against Getafe, for example, after 5 or 7 minutes, we saw that if we took a step forward, we would have more chances. We have to know how to adapt during the game to make it easier to create chances. We need to find solutions against our opponents. Against Getafe, we played in a simpler way, but we were more offensive. So Lewandowski seems to be hopeful about, one, beating Napoli and making it to the quarterfinals, but second, in improving in La Liga and perhaps winning the title. And I think that's going to be a very important attitude to have. But as I've discussed many times before, it will also depend on how the team play. If they can continue improving on their performance on Getafe, then perhaps Barcelona do have a chance. Now, finally, Lewandowski did speak about Xabi's decision to leave at the end of the season. And in regards to that, the Polish striker said, "Xabi will be our coach until the end of the season. And for us, that is very important to be focused to do our job. I understand that for Xabi, it has been a difficult time, and it has been an emotional one. He's a former Barcelona player, and being the Barca coach is very tough for Xabi because he is an emotional guy too. For him, Barcelona is more than a club. I understand that for his family, it can't be easy too. We have to play together, move in the same direction, and win matches." So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.